Hey guys, what's up? Technology Fall here, and today we're going to be doing a review for the Radeon HD7870 OC version from Gigabyte. Gigabyte's HD7870 OC card is one of the best cards I've ever used. It runs quiet, it runs cool. I've never gotten over 65 Celsius when playing a game. It's overclocked from the factory with 1.1 GHz on the core and 1.2 GHz on the memory clock. It has 2 GB of GDDR5, which is really good and needed because games nowadays need more VRAM, or for texture packs like for Skyrim or Crysis 2, as texture packs need more VRAM. It also has newer technologies like PCI Express 3.0 and a 28nm GPU architecture, which also keeps the card cool. What comes inside the box is a driver CD, a quick guide, a crossfire bridge, and two 2-Molex to 6-pin connectors. I really wish Gigabyte did add more stuff, but it's understandable. And here we have the 3 fans that keep this wonderful card cool and quiet. The fans look like a smoky-ish color, or blackish if you look at it in a different angle. The shroud design is really nice. It's shiny or glossy-ish, whatever you want to call it. And it's a really nice design and it gives it a good look. So taking a look behind the card, we have a blue PCB. And as you can see, the heatsink is actually longer than the PCB itself. However, that shouldn't be a problem. This card has a DVI port, a gold-plated HDMI port, and 2 mini display ports. Now that we got all the information out of the way, it's time for some benchmarks. Alright, so first things first, I wanted to show you the detailed specifications for this card by using GPU-Z, so you can look at the specifications yourself. Now as you see on the bus interference, it says it's running at 1.1, but don't worry about that because it's just running on a standby mode, you could say. But once you're doing something GPU intensive like playing a video game or whatever, then it goes back to its original bus interference, which is 3.0. So the first benchmark I'm going to be talking about is 3D Mark 11. As you see, the total score is 6,198, but the score I'm mostly looking for is the graphics score, which was 6,702. But as for the other scores, the physics score was 5,155, and the combined score was 4,919. The card did a great job in running this benchmark, not only by performance, but by also keeping itself cool and quiet. As you see, the temps were only 61 Celsius, and the fan speed was at 59%. And even at 59% speeds, the fans were not loud at all. Now the next benchmark I'm going to be talking about is 3D Mark Vantage. The total score was 20,883, but again, I'm mostly looking at the graphics score, which was 23,752. Once again, the card did excellent in this benchmark while still keeping cool and quiet. Now a quick note, both 3D Mark benchmarks were ran at the performance setting. Now that we're done with the 3D Mark benchmarks, it's time for the Heaven benchmark made by Unigen. I benchmarked the card with default settings and customized settings. This is the default settings benchmark. As you see, it did a wonderful job running the benchmark with the average frames per second at 84 and the minimum frames per second at 41. So it never went under 30 frames per second, meaning it kept running the benchmark smooth and without lag. And yet again, the graphics card was kept cool and quiet. Now we're going to take a look at the customized settings I did for the Heaven benchmark. Anti-aliasing is at 8x, anisotropy is at 16x, and tessellation is at normal settings, while the last benchmark had no tessellation. As you see, the average frames per second was 47.9, the minimum frames per second was 22, and the max frames per second was at 97.2. However, as you see on the temps and fan speed, it says that during this benchmark it ran cooler and quieter than the previous benchmark. This is my mistake, and the temps and fan speeds aren't correct because I may have let the card cool down for too long after the previous benchmark I did. If I were to estimate what the correct temps would be, I would guess around 65 to 67 Celsius. As for the fan speed, I'd say it'd be around the 60s. The Gigabyte HD7870 OC is one heck of an amazing video card. It definitely killed off my GTX 275 as expected and is compared to or even better than the GTX 570. It can play any game I throw at it at max settings. Not to mention how cool and quiet this card ran. The max temps were around the 60s and never went over 70 Celsius. As for the idle temps, they stay around 35 to 40 Celsius, but whatever temps the card was running at, the fans were never loud. Even at 60%, they weren't even loud. It's a powerful yet silent video card. Their WinForce technology definitely does keep the card in cool temps. Now I tried overclocking this card even more, but it didn't go so well. No matter what OC I do, it just crashes sooner or later. I can play games for a couple minutes with an OC of mine, but then it freezes up and either crashes the computer and goes into a black screen, or the drivers recover. If I do achieve a custom OC of mine, I'll make sure I make a video of it. As for the driver issues that people have said they had, I can personally say I haven't had any driver issues whatsoever. The only time drivers were having issues is when I was trying to overclock the card even more than it already is. But it isn't the driver's fault, it's the custom OC that I tried to use. Overall, the Gigabyte HD7870 OC video card is an amazing card and good for the price. However, I would have liked it if Gigabyte did include more accessories in the box and if the price was a bit cheaper instead of $300, though the prices should go down soon as new video cards are coming out. So if you're looking for a wonderful card that's powerful yet silent, Gigabyte's HD7870 OC card is for you. Thanks for watching, and be sure to click that like button if you enjoyed this video or thought I did a good job in reviewing this product, as this is my first time reviewing something. If you want more technology videos, go ahead and subscribe for more videos soon.